So good evening and welcome to the January 22nd, 2019 meeting of Norwood's Trails Advisory Group. For public information, we're a advisory group commissioned by the town general manager. Making tonight, one of the things we're going to do on our agenda is to actually come up with a mission statement. But one of the main focal points for us going forward is to try to advise, work for both directions, but work for and advise the general manager in trails and open space related topics. So here we do have a pretty busy timed schedule agenda for the evening. We're here at Norwood Town Hall. We're in room 24. We usually meet in this room. The room and the building are ADA accessible and ADA compliant. If anyone has any questions or comments relative to that, they can either get in touch with me at jgreeley@norwoodma.gov, or Bernie Cooper is the town ADA compliance officer. We do have several available seats tonight. We welcome visitors. Fran Rush was a visitor 2 weeks ago, and now she's actually sitting at the big table, so that's what happens sometimes.
I like that. All are welcome.
All are welcome, right, absolutely. In line with call to order and take attendance. Sue, would you mind kicking us off with an attendance?
Sue Bartlett.
Craig Austin.
Fran Rush.
Ernie Petrikowski.
Vic Babel.
Lee Leach.
And I'm Joe Greeley. Thanks for joining us. All of our meetings are taped. We take minutes, and minutes will be if they're not already posted to the town website. And we're very open and appreciative of any feedback that we get from the community. So, item number 2 on the agenda: review and approve prior meeting minutes. I think we have one set of minutes open from the last meeting.
Now we have 2 sets, because I didn't get them finished
Okay.
quite
No, that's okay.
on time today, so.
As long as we're keeping score, so we have a couple of minutes, and we will complete and present those minutes as soon as administratively possible.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Very briefly, actually, Lee, maybe you can talk to the third agenda item, update on Norwood Trails Committee reorganization. Have we made any progress or any comments on that?
Well, we are a advisory committee, as you said, established late last year, and our first meeting was our last one, and then going forward, but nothing further as far as, that's,
What it is?
as what it is, so.
I did ask Tony, famous words from Tony Mazzucco, the town manager. I said, is there anything that you want us to concentrate on or refocus? And his words were, just keep doing what you're doing. So that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's a good informal mission statement right there, but we're gonna beef that up a little bit. But basically, that's the recommendation and the request from the town manager. So, anybody relative to that? Anyone have any questions on reorg? And it's still a work in progress, definitely.
I think operationally, like you indicated, Joe, we'll continue as we are, take the minutes and have an open setting so that everybody in town knows what we're doing as we go forward.
I think supporting that open space plan, and that's gonna be like a key thing once that gets set, cause then we can start looking into grants and things like that, so that would be a
Good
big
point,
step too.
yeah.
To support that.
Good point. I was just gonna bounce down to number,
Oh, sorry.
agenda item number,
Yeah.
no, that's right, number 7. You had that, do you have that newsletter up?
I can do
So, at our last meeting, just speaking of the open space survey is a survey. The town is in the process of rewriting the open space and recreation master plan. The last time it was done was 2010, but the open space master plan, not only internal to the town, to the community, it provides a good indication of where the community members think that the town should head in as far as open space, whether it be planning or acquisition or access or Any number of things are part of that. Ernie served on the master plan committee 8 years ago.
10 years ago.
10, yeah. So that work, and thank you, Ernie, but that work continues. There's several people on the open space committee who are working on rewriting this open space master plan. Not only is it important internally to the town, but also that's a document that if the town applies for any external grants, one of the first questions that the grant awarding entity asks is, do you have an updated open space master plan? So hopefully by the third quarter of this year, 2019, that master plan will have been approved by the state and will be in place.
And anyone at home that can go to the regular town website here, and it's right at the bottom, the link that'll get you to the open space plan survey by January 31st.
And how many surveys do we have complete now? Is there an update?
Yeah, so
It's over 400.
I went to the meeting of the Open Space Master Plan Committee. They meet on a regular basis. They met last Thursday. And as of last Thursday, they had close to 400.
Is,
Very interesting responses. The MAPC, you can see the logo in the top corner there. Metropolitan Area Planning Council is a state entity. And they are helping us to coordinate the master plan and this survey. They basically downloaded all the comments. There's several places in the survey for survey takers to provide comment and feedback back to the committee. Some of the comments were really valuable, and there was a lot of commonality to the comments, but I think the comments are almost
I'll forget
as
those words.
useful, if not more useful, than the actual survey. So the way we got that, item number 7 on the agenda, it was Sue's idea at our last meeting 2 weeks ago to take the survey or use the survey and distribute it to the more than 200 email addresses that the Trails Committee collected at Norwood Day. So Sue wrote up a really swanky cover letter and distributed the link to the open space survey to more than 200 of our contacts.
and I completed it when I saw that.
Excellent, thank you. So now we have 401 responses.
Yeah.
So you,
Yeah.
Matter of fact, did you put the poster up at the Norwood Central on one of the polls? Open Space Committee?
I didn't.
Yeah, I saw it right there while I was waiting for a
I'd like to
train.
claim responsibility,
Yeah.
but I did not.
So,
So all of you, if you didn't get this on Monday.
Monday.
Monday, yeah.
So if you got it, that means we have your email address and we added it to the group. But if you didn't receive this, surely let us know, because we want to, you got it. We definitely want, this is the first of hopefully many helpful feedback soliciting emails that we'll be distributing. We've already got a couple of great responses back from the public, from the community on the newsletter, and suggestions for other information. Anybody get this?
Yeah, I
Yes,
remember
got it.
receiving it.
Okay, cool, great.
Just for the community, is there a place they can go and access this without sending us an email?
Yeah, on the town website.
It's on the
says,
town
If
website?
you go to the very bottom, it says Open Space and Recreation Plan 2018 survey, just click on that.
No, I meant the whole newsletter.
Not
Oh,
yet.
they want the newsletter?
So best to send us an email at our link,
Yeah.
and then.
And the email address would be
Doesn't matter.
trails@norwoodma.gov,
Yeah.
no@ma.gov, right?
right? I don't know if you can get that on the
Yep.
broadcast.
So, and one of the other items on our agenda is just website and et cetera, but we definitely want to take advantage of, the community stepped forward and gave us a couple of hundred, which is great, email addresses, so we definitely want to turn that into a two-way communication media that we can use. We would certainly, once we get our webpage up on the town website, we would certainly store newsletters and any correspondence we have, so. Brandon, you're
I just didn't know if we had a service, an email marketing service, similar to like, I don't know if you heard of Constant Contact, something like that, where people can subscribe, put their email in, and then they're part of the newsletter distribution. I know we had it in the schools when I was helping, with the music department, so.
Yeah, we're
we can
using
look at-
MailChimp, it's a free
Okay.
service.
Okay, good, that's good.
Because like the Constant Contact to do that, like had a little bit of a charge, so then I ended up using the MailChimp because it was free.
Okay, good.
free is good for now, but
Yeah.
certainly.
Yeah.
Yep. Any other comments on that? Certainly going forward, suggestions, we want to try to take advantage of this as much as possible, so.
No, that was very good newsletter.
Good, yeah.
Thanks, Sue. She wrote
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you,
Our
Sue.
technical department.
Another
Next,
guy.
next on our agenda is,
Mission statement.
yep,
Back
the-
up to three,
yep.
four rather, three.
So
We'll be out of
let's,
here.
can we table until can we talk about item number 5, the sustainability series presentation first? Before we go into the mission statement? So Vic, do you wanna give us
Well,
what is sustainability and what are we up to?
Sustainability is what it is. It's a group of us got together, and actually a couple of us got together, Susan, Claire, and myself, and we're on the recycling committee. And after we got our recycling containers, they kind of disbanded it, and so we said we got to keep on going. So Together ES has brought is an umbrella for other things. We did the community garden, which we have 72 gardeners and a long waiting list, and people from all over the world in that garden. It's amazing. Then the sustainability series where we help people sew. We have a bunch of sewing machines where we teach people how to sew. We have fabric swaps, so people that sew can, for free, swap fabric and pick up fabric to do clothes and all that. And we try to help on like Earth Day and anything to do with sustainability. So it makes sense because the Trails Committee is kind of on the same path of sustainability and the environment. And so we were, I guess, happy to invite this group to give a talk at the library on February 13th. Is that at 7 or 6:30? I don't have the time. 6:30. So anybody that wants to come, feel free to come, but you probably should sign up first at the library. So we're gonna try to, the Trails Group and John and I are gonna give a little presentation with Sue's great help on all her effort to organize it. And it should last about 45 minutes and an hour, and we'll try to explain to everybody what exactly the Trails Group is and why and what and where, so, and some pictures of the different trails that we've already have established that everybody can go on right now, as a matter of fact.
Very quick. Do you want to just go through it quick?
Well, it's up to you.
Just to show.
Yeah, maybe we can just cruise through and you don't have to hit all the slides.
That's
but-
me.
Yeah. So then I'll just start out and say who we are. And then, as they go through the points, that's who we are. Next thing is what we do. And then.
Identifying the trails.
Yeah, the different pieces that we do.
And the good thing is, we do have a bunch of trails that are ready right now, and then in the future, that's our big work, is to try to first identify the ones we have and let people know about it, and then to try to create new trails or
Yeah.
improve old trails that haven't been used for years.
And as you go through, I thought one slide and then zoom in on the map, so each one is a slide about where it's at, and then a zooming of the map, maybe, I don't know.
And we'll have some pictures
Yeah, I'll
also.
have to add some pictures and
Yeah.
things to it, Ellis Pond and different Beswick, where they're at. Still have to add some more of what we're doing. And then possible the future trails, have to add all
That's
that.
not-
And then Yeah, this was also in your slide, do you wanna just say what we also do, so just the.
Yes, we have trails, our trails report. When we do trails, we fill out forms to critique it. We'll show the forms and how we can do it. And you can also be able to download these, so if any of the public goes on these trails and wants to give a critique on it, they can also do that. And part of the thing, if you can go back a little bit, part of the big thing too is, and we're all scratching for money, the state appears to really encourage partnerships with surrounding towns, and that's gonna be probably a key to us getting some money, because, we can connect with Westwood, we can connect with Walpole, we can connect with Sharon, any, sister town around, and they like when these are connected to other towns, because then more people can use it.
These we probably have to add in, have stuff like that, yeah. Then, so that was what we do, so the next part is community involvement. And so this is just all the stuff we've done, Earth Day, as you talk about each thing, we bring that in. So that's community involvement. Next thing would be the sustainability aspect.
Sue, on the community involvement, I don't know if there's a way to do it, or is there a way to put some kind of line, like, come join us, or if you're interested, come volunteer, it's, no heavy lifting,
Yeah, that's a good
for,
idea.
just something that, you're gonna have people there that,
Yeah.
are gonna hopefully go to find out what the Trails Committee's all about, and
Yeah.
there may be some people there that would say, geez, I'd like to, help out on a, whatever I can do,
Yeah.
once in a while, or more involved, less involved, but ask for, join.
At the end, we give.
Come to the,
We give out Joe's email address.
there you go.
Yeah.
We say our info, and then that's what we say.
And one thing that really surprised me Saturday when I was walking the trails was, on every trail I saw people, and it's the dead of the winter.
I say,
And
on Walpole Street.
everybody, almost everybody was walking a dog, and so that's the initial group of people that are out there now. So, once we really identify it better,
Where was that?
that's Endine.
That's in Dean.
Yeah.
Along the
Okay.
tracks are on the left-hand
Yeah.
side.
Oh, looking
Right.
back down to it, yeah.
Is that looking
Oh, yeah.
up?
No, it's looking down towards
Yeah,
the,
okay.
The tracks are on the left?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the last piece is just the Q&A. Yeah. But I can add more pictures to this and everything. So those are just the pieces that are going to be discussed.
Another thought I just had just now, do you have any kind of, just like a photo loop that we can run before or after?
Yeah,
Do
we can
something like that.
Vic just sent me a bunch of pictures. I can just
Yeah,
put a
that,
ton
maybe
of-
those that you don't use in the actual
Yeah.
presentation.
Yeah.
I think you sent pictures, right, Craig?
Not the most recent, but yeah.
I know you've sent me some, and Ernie, you've got a.
I sent,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ernie gave.
Yeah.
I sent some to Sue, a lot of
Yeah.
those are there, at the
Yeah.
conservation areas
Sure.
and Waterland.
Yeah.
The one picture.
Did you have a statement on joining the mail list? I didn't catch it, but
Well, we just at the end had like,
Volunteers, their mailing list,
like
yeah.
Joe's thing, but we could add to this. If, like,
Yeah, because that's a key to have a good mailing list, so we
Yeah.
can inform people what's happening and, special
we could
events
add
that
the
we hope to
trails
have.
email too,
Yeah, we could add the Trails email here instead of
Mhm.
that bottom section.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of that.
You're gonna have a sign up.
Yeah, that's for
I
sure.
mean, people can sign up and write it down
Yeah.
while they're
We-
there.
Well, if they have their phones with them, we can tell them just email
Yep.
right away while they're
Yeah.
sitting there, email us.
We've used a log at Norwood Day, we used it again at the Progress Norwood Walk. We've used it several times, and every time we use it, people give us their contact info. So, yeah, it's a
Good.
good idea.
Yeah.
So Vic, this room, the Simone room at the library holds 50?
70 some odd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's up to 70.
Yeah. And they've been, I've gone to quite a few things this winter, and they've been so packed there all the time.
Yeah.
And it is is it a registration?
You should, just in case, I've never registered, but,
Yeah, you can always get in.
yeah.
So
if
you
know
could
someone.
register at the, how does that work, do you know?
You register at, you could call the library or register at the deck, and the events are
At the
usually in the
reference
local
desk.
papers, you know, they have a list of them all.
Okay, no, that looks great, that's great. And when is it again?
February 13th, 6:30 PM.
Great.
Norwood Memorial Library. And the Simone Room is, just ask at the desk if you don't know, but it's way upstairs in the back. The old
On the
library.
second floor.
Second? Yeah.
Second floor, yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's great, that's great. Thank you for doing that. John Apria, Vic Babel, Sue Bartlett, thank you.
And
And John's a little
I'm-
bit under the weather
I'm
tonight,
planning to be
otherwise he
there
would be.
too, so.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I did mention that at the front. Marguerite Krupp and John Apria are also members of the group, and they were both unavailable tonight, so
Yeah.
both under the weather.
Lot of people,
Great,
huh?
okay. So the next agenda item, I'm gonna hand this out, speaking of Marguerite, Marguerite had sent, she was unable to join us tonight. So she did provide us with a number of good suggestions. So what we wanna try to accomplish
The
is,
same one?
yeah.
Yeah.
Is there an extra one of those?
Yeah, yeah.
So what we wanna try to accomplish, with our change in organization, we were originally set up as a subcommittee of the Conservation Commission. Now we've kind of changed lanes, if you will, and now we've joined as as the Trails Advisory Group, working directly for the town general manager. So what we're trying to accomplish and create is essentially something that we can use as our tagline or mission statement going forward. Let's see, Margaret, among other people, we've all kind of taken a crack at this, but it should be something, I don't know if anybody's gone through a mission statement creation exercise, but essentially, it's almost like a whiteboard. It's one of those, just throw out a bunch of ideas as far as what, priorities and primary reasons why we've created this entity here. Why do we show up every Tuesday, every other Tuesday? And how we think we'll contribute to the community and open space and trails and all those dog owners out there and various other people that we've talked about. Just to try to kick things off here, Marguerite, I'm gonna kind of use Marguerite, thanks Marguerite, I'm gonna use some of your detail here, but some of the bullet points that she's got, and the mission statement should be fairly short and sweet, almost like a 2 or 3 sentence narrative as far as what our priorities are and what we want to accomplish as a group. So certainly, a lot of the things, I'll just real briefly read some of the things she's got. Identifying and mapping of current and possible future trails, educating the general public about the existence of trails in Norwood and the outdoor recreation experiences they provide. Working with Norwood schools to develop ecology awareness programs for our students. Assessing the condition and safety of existing trails. Increasing the public's access to recreational trails by publicizing trail events, seeking volunteers to work on trails, raising funds for trail improvements, and working with other towns and regional groups to create trail networks. As part of the town website, creating and maintaining a web and Facebook presence for Norwood Trails, and working with municipal and state organizations to integrate local conservation and environmental goals with state and regional initiatives. So it's a great list. I think we've all got an idea as to, why each of us shows up and what we think our priorities are. I'm gonna ask Sue if she can open up can you open up either a Word or Excel template? Anybody wanna chime in and?
Well, I had a simple one. I said just to create, maintain, and promote trails in Norwood and surrounding communities. And connecting to the surrounding communities. Ernie had about the same thing, so I wasn't
Yeah,
gonna check.
you can, well, I said like the first line, like to educate, to educate, inform, and encourage the use of the trails in Norwood and surrounding towns, you know, or educate, explore, and encourage, because I think educate and inform may be the same thing. You know, try to get 3 E's in there, educate, explore, and encourage the use of existing trails and future trails in Norwood, and encourage you know, basically to encourage, you know, people to get outside. You know, I mean, the second half I haven't quite figured out yet, but those were the,
If you
trying to
think-
get, educate, explore, trying to get the bang, 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 you know, the
I think over the last couple of months, we've certainly explored a whole raft of trails and potential trails. I think we did that.
explore may not be the right word, I don't know if
Yeah.
that's a better word, or, and I think inform is the same as educate, so
Okay. Okay. Lee?
Still
Okay.
thinking about some of this stuff. I think educate, and I also wanna include like a local element, like, promoting stakeholders, and, you know, to help support their own local areas within the town, something along those lines. And I don't know how to
You
word
want
that.
throw more buzzwords in, like nature or beauty or something, or just to get people outdoors? I'm trying to think of other
Yeah.
broader words or terms that could
Well,
somehow
that too,
incorporate them in there.
but like Vic said, you know, I think it would be important to behoove us to make sure that part of our committee involves somebody who owns dogs and walks trails with them.
Yeah.
Sort of, you know, as a committee, keep it open to all of the stakeholders of the resources in town.
Runners.
And runners is another one, right.
So
So
I
maybe-
said to create, what did I say, to create, maintain, and promote trails in Norwood.
So maybe foster local stakeholders and solicit input and feedback.
Well, I know the Charles River Running, they're so excited about it, you know, they wanna be a part of this, obviously for running, and,
But I don't think our
Walking
mission
also.
statement needs to be that specific to,
Right.
because then you always have to change it. It's really gotta be a high level,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
inclusive kind of
Yeah.
verbiage.
So we broad range of.
Just throw
Trail.
out the words
Yeah.
and we will.
Yeah.
see what
Craig, you
sticks.
got any brainstorms?
Yeah, I kind of narrowed it down to 4 points instead of 7. Take inventory and grade current trails. Advise on potential additions to the trail network. Develop partnerships and encourage sharing resources within town government and civic groups.
Mhm.
And promote education of the natural and related concepts. Advise on potential additions to the trail network. You can, that kind of took a lot of, you know, without trying to name specific groups, you know, and those groups could change over time as well, so, you know, just trying to group them together as being both within our government and other groups like Norwood Pride and the sustainability group together, yes.
I think you have this one, right, Sue, that you can also refer to, but in terms of like actually, a lot of what we did start out to doing, like the surveys and stuff, is important also to capture in terms of like actual work or task oriented, and how we express that in a mission statement, I'm not sure. But-
Usually kind of like a lower down, this is, you know, you have a
Right.
mission statement,
So-
and then this year, this is what we're focusing on.
Right, but our activities are geared around, you know, supporting and promoting you know, and preserving those trails, those trail assets that we already have identified as well.
On the second one, if you encourage people to get outside or whatever, and then you and then you mixed in, like to encourage people to get outside to, you know, somehow enjoy the nature, to enjoy the nature and the beauty of Norwood, or I'm just trying to get a couple of them and kind of group them into a sentence that, so when you know, you really only want it to be about 2 or 3 sentences.
Right.
And you just want to get as general in there as you can.
You just wanna use that crown jewel phrase, don't you?
The the jewel of the Commonwealth, the Norwood, the beauty of Norwood, the crown
You've heard
jewel.
this before, right?
Used it.
I think if you think of what we're all about is, now that we've changed our organizational reporting structure, if you will, I think the, you know, we have to make sure that we're adding value in the role that we have, where we are an advisory group.
Yep.
We're basically looking in 2 different directions. One is the users and potential users of the trails and the open space that we've got in town. The second direction that we're looking at is from a town management standpoint and all the other departments in town. It's, you know, one of the many values of those trail reports is we could take the trails report, like from our trips over the weekend, and we could send one copy to the DPW and to the Conservation Commission and say, Dear Concom, here's what we found when we went to property X, and we would recommend the following steps or maintenance be done, or Dear DPW, we found a downed tree that could block, you know, ledge view or something. That I think we need to be cognizant and include somehow that value that we're bringing to the table.
Joe, if I could, on going back to what Vic and Sue are doing and Joe are doing at the sustainability series, I don't know, is there a way also, I just thought this in, you brought up a good point of the users, of they could talk about, you know, who's gonna use the trails? Well, you've got walkers, you've got dog people, you've got snowshoers, you've got cross-country skiers,
Bikers.
you've got mountain bikers,
Runners.
you've got
Right.
runners, you've got, you know,
Cleveland School.
I mean,
Yeah.
you've got 10 potential end users of the trails. You know, so who do they benefit? Well, you know, they don't just benefit, you know, me on taking a walk around the track. So I don't know if that was in that, but that may be something that you may want to bring into your discussion. That, you know, who's going to, you know, who's the end user here? Who's our audience, if you will?
Okay, good.
Because we would just come up with 8 or 9 different people that could do it.
Sure. All right. Well, we've certainly got a lot to work on here.
Runners, don't forget runners.
Yeah.
Other
And no
than-
motorized vehicles.
That's right,
Yeah, I will be with.
non-motor. Okay. Anything else we wanna throw up on the board? So basically, the next step basically is to take all these bullets and kind of cram them into maybe 3 or 4, but no more than 4 sentences that'll describe us.
That's even a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 is a lot. I think if, to your
2 to
point,
3.
Ernie, about the 3 E's or something, it should be something that we can, you know, when all else fails, if we just threw out the 3 E's, we keep it simple. Whenever anybody talks to me, they always try to keep it simple for my small mind.
The 4 E's, that's Ernie's idea.
That's
No,
right.
not my idea.
By Ernie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You wrote
maybe,
it down.
so what do we wanna do to encourage usage? You know, we're advising the town manager and town management. That also includes volunteer groups, committees, et cetera.
You could even take manager out, we assist the town. I don't know if you wanna be that specific, but,
Yep, sure.
I mean, I'm just, like I said, I'm just throwing it
Kind
out
of puts us in a hierarchy in the government, though. As opposed to being in Park and Rec or DPW,
there. Yeah, you could, yeah.
but you're right.
You want
So,
a manager back in there then?
so let's say,
Come with
let's, let me just kind of combine thoughts here, but.
Town government,
So in our role, in our role as, in our advisory role to the town, in our advisory role to the town's various committees and, town leaders and committees. In our advisory role,
assist the town in,
You can't put advisory in there twice, Joe.
Right.
You got Norwood Trails Advisory Committee in our advisory role.
so in our role
In our
as-
I
role,
think that's, yeah,
Yeah.
kind of liked it as it
Mrs.
was.
Shaw would be very pleased if,
There you go.
redundant.
Part of the dangling particles.
There's town officials too.
Yeah.
Can't use encourage, right?
Just put two, I think,
Why don't you take,
just
why don't you
like
take
to
in
educate,
our
explore.
role, in our role assisting town officials, why don't you take that and throw that to the beginning? Just the value of
Oh,
cut,
okay.
yes,
cut
yeah,
and paste.
Oh, I see, yeah.
yeah.
No Trails Advisory Committee.
Educate,
Is committed to
explore.
Works to,
Is committed, I
Is
would
com-
say.
or works
No,
to.
advisory committee is committed to educating, exploring, and encouraging the use of existing and future trails in Norwood.
So let's.
Promoting, then you could start the next word with promoting.
Yeah, but you could have just one sentence for
Yeah.
a mission
So-
statement,
so-
that's all.
So that looks like a good header sentence, and then maybe the next sentence,
Promote
Below that,
partnerships,
you
uh,
go into a little bit more detail for it.
Yeah, those are
But
the
not a lot
bullets.
of detail.
Yep. So
Maybe
let-
3 points, yeah.
So are we
the
good
3
with this
points,
as
yeah.
being the mission statement? That's the, I guess, the question.
Do you wanna change this to development, cause future trails,
Sure. And let's go through the bottom, the bullets, and pull out anything that we've just done and throw it down the bottom. So advise the town manager we can move.
I think develop partnerships is a good,
So take this second one.
is a good, thing. You can, develop partnerships with, other local organizations, local, you know what I mean, organizations, other groups, like the rec department, like Boy Scouts, things like that.
Or other towns.
Other,
So promote education, you can move that down because we've hit education at the top. So,
this is probably done too.
promote partnerships with other organizations and, develop partnerships with other organizations to encourage, I'm trying to get the people, the nature beauty kind of thing to, I'm not, or the end partnerships,
So,
I'm trying,
so primary focus, why don't you take that benefiting different groups? So, and.
that was more for these guys at their,
Yeah.
sustainability, to talk about that for a few
Yeah.
minutes.
So,
Can you put
Too
future
long.
recreational and nature trails, or is that just too wordy?
Too wordy.
Well, I
And
think we need to
trails.
also include, Norwood and connecting to surrounding towns, because that's one of the goals, because we can get money for it, and
Yeah.
and it's a better
Yeah,
better thing
If it's in
anyway,
your mission statement
Yeah.
that you're looking
in Norwood and surrounding towns,
in neighboring towns.
in neighboring
Yeah.
towns.
But our focus is still Norwood.
Your focus is still Norwood, but,
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
So let's take that,
So that would be like promoting.
and connecting to, I don't know,
I think
No,
you
and
would
connecting
wanna-
to trails in surrounding towns, so that it doesn't look like we're trying to maintain their trails too. Oh, Sue doesn't like it at all.
so let's take,
That's almost
I like the
like a
network
subset, it's like how to accomplish what we're doing, what we've set out in the mission statement.
our goal, let's see, you could say.
Can I make one flip here? Can I throw something out?
Go for it.
All right, educating, exploring, encouraging. Take the use of existing and development of future. I don't know if that, just look at that, if you,
Yeah, I think that does help.
and the development of future trails, just flipping those.
So of those bottom. So of those bottom 7 or 8 bullets, if we look to what we're currently doing compared to what we wanna do in the future. So in the future, we might say advise on potential, so let's combine like the later focus. So the next steps after this would be advise on potential additions.
Well, he's got it there in the development of future trails.
Mm-hmm.
I like the word network though, I think it sounds bigger, like you have a plan.
Of course,
Like
we
a-
have a plan.
Well, I mean, it sounds like, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
as
a-
it relates
is
to
it
network of trails or
the
network
of trees.
network of trails, that, when you say network, is it?
I like the word network in the trails, it seems like there's more trails out there that we don't know about when you're connecting them, or just.
Okay. So how about where it says in the sentence up at the top, in the development of future trail networks? And the development of future trail networks.
Yeah, that's good there.
In Norwood and the surrounding
Yeah, we'll
areas.
make it happy. No, that's good.
Yeah, because they're not always gonna be
Yeah.
adjoining.
Right.
Or
Yep.
at
You know,
least
see,
at
after,
first.
you're getting to be like me when I used to write a paragraph, one sentence. It used to be a whole paragraph, never put a period in it.
Yeah.
All right, so,
That may be,
Yeah,
that
that's-
may be
I think
the whole
that's
thing
enough.
right there.
Yeah.
I'd say, I'm not,
so do you wanna leave those bullets as is? When you
Yes,
say
I like
leave,
it.
Well, the we're working on the mission statement as the 1 or 2 sentence thing,
okay,
and I think that's a good one there.
yeah,
I think you got it, I think.
but somewhere I
Network
think
of
all the,
trails.
sorry,
And then we work on the
I
bullets.
don't feel like the way it sounded.
Yeah, and I think you're right, Vic, you know,
Network of trails.
below that, we've got a whole bunch of bullets, and, you know, they can be, those themselves can sort of be like put into general groups of sort of like education, outreach, you know, community involvement.
This is how we
Yeah,
do
and
it.
that we
And
can
then-
add, subtract all the time.
Right,
Yeah.
and then and another area would be like work task oriented, you know, doing the, you know, other activities that we actually do.
Yep.
In terms of,
So in the first bullet, encourage people to get outside, to enjoy the beauty. And then if you could work nature, enjoy the nature and beauty of Norwood, you could eliminate the third bullet.
Yeah.
mm-hmm,
Natural beauty of Norwood.
oh, I
Yeah.
love that.
there we go.
There you go.
Is that how you spell beauty?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
I don't know, it doesn't look like, does it?
No,
I don't know.
yeah, it does.
Then you can basically
That
get,
looks wrong.
is anybody, opposed if we combine, it's important for us to, make the trails user-friendly for everybody listed in that benefiting different groups of.
Yeah,
But is it okay if we not list, I mean, if you're gonna list 7, you're bound to drop somebody off.
Yeah.
Right.
How about if we just say benefiting all,
Non-motorized, you know.
No ATVs.
Yeah.
What do they call them? Multi-use trails or something?
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a
multi,
certain
multi,
name
si-
to it.
multi-use, what's the, yeah, multi-use, what's the, there's a.
Something like
there's
encourage
another name.
multi-use trail or
Yeah,
trails that accommodate multiple uses.
What about, you know, part of our thing will be the signage on the trails and everything, properly marking them. I don't see it mentioned there.
I guess
Is
that's
that
under
too-
improving trails or,
that might be included under
Oh, it was.
inventory.
Inventory grade and proper marking of current trails, of trails,
Develop partnerships with other organizations in and out of town.
yeah.
Or out of Norwood, not town.
How about if we combine the bottom one with the top one, so encouraging individuals,
Encouraging people to use,
multi-use,
uh,
what I wanna,
Get rid of that.
yeah, to get rid of the get outside, to enjoy.
what I wanna try to do is get that multi-use
Yeah.
groups and
Yeah.
incorporate that up above.
And instead of people, put in, encourage multi-use groups, or, I don't know if that, I don't know if that works.
Yeah.
Are people gonna understand what they mean by a multi-use group? I
They
don't
could
know.
probably understand what people mean.
yeah, a little better with people.
Different end users, different,
Groups and individuals to enjoy,
There we go.
and individuals.
or families,
Groups is a family.
yeah, group.
And you have Pride Norwood and some others that are community groups, so
So let's take,
I think, oops, work task oriented seems to be sort of an
Downer.
outsider in that.
I'm not doing that.
They are doing work task
Yeah.
oriented by the other tasks, so,
Yeah.
Work task oriented could be combined with inventory grade current trails. I mean, that's kind of all, the kind of a.
Yeah.
well, they all are.
Yeah.
They kind of all are. It's,
Hey, who said you could do this?
I think we should take the 3 E's and put each one as a bullet, how about that? And then put, like, have each bullet be the 3 E's that are up
Oh,
above,
alright.
and make those the 3 bullets underneath. So you expand on what you mean by educating, what you mean by exploring, what you mean by encouraging.
Can you work those into those, though?
Yeah, that's what I mean, that's
Oh.
work for me. Anything? Just explaining what you mean above with the sentence, with those 3 verbs.
I don't know what we mean by exploring, it just begin with E.
Explore the multi-use trails,
don't know.
educate the beauty, I don't know, the nature.
I don't think we like
I
that.
could put in exploring, inventorying, and grading current trails.
Exploring partnerships with other organizations.
Yeah, that could work.
Yep.
On the
Location,
residence on,
Do you think that would be good though,
Well-
the 3 E's, could you have that up?
educate,
ties it to the
no,
top?
on location, yeah, location, on,
available resources, available trail locations.
Yeah, available.
Available trail locations.
Just in Norwood?
No, trail locations, I think.
Yeah, trail location.
Because, you know, you're gonna try to connect.
Let's also not limit this to residents, let's
Yeah.
say
Yes,
educating
that's
Norwood
true.
community members.
Yeah, educating
Yeah,
the community. On available trail locations and, conditions, locations and conditions.
Sure.
'Cause somebody may wanna think that all of them are, you know,
Yeah.
ready to go.
Right.
So that means we could take the inventory grade trails and tuck that down below, so let's get rid of that one. And then,
You've got partner, stakeholders is kind of the same as the different groups. Is that the same? Am I reading too much into that?
Just your,
did we include that somewhere?
yeah, that's the, that's.
Oh, yeah, yeah, okay.
Do we need the advises the town manager?
Partnerships.
That's already in the top.
That's in the top,
Yeah.
yeah.
So this,
Town official, yeah.
oh, we have the multi-use groups, right? So
Yeah.
different groups, we have different groups right here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we can get rid of this one.
Good.
Yeah.
And what did we, what
Get
did
rid
we
of the
mean
town
with
man,
work
I don't
task?
know.
Work task is like a volunteer day, or,
Well, that to me sounds like work.
Yeah.
no, but what did, is that what we intended? Do we know why it's there?
I think it's supposed to imply that we're doing sort of we've developed a checklist and we're going through it.
And
No.
should, and somehow ensure that, I still go on that signage, that the proper signage
Sure.
is available for all the trails that we do.
Yeah, but I don't know if you put that,
Which I think we've hit in
I think
educating
you're,
the community.
I don't know, I think you're kinda there.
Good.
I mean,
What we wanna do though, is that,
do you really wanna dig, how far down in the weeds do you wanna dig on a mission statement, you know?
Well, the mission statement's the top.
Yeah.
This is just bullets underneath.
Oh, okay, all right.
so I think if we, the only thing I wanna try to do with that promoting stakeholders, I think it's important for us to foster like adopt a trail or community outreach, community,
You're almost getting that with exploring partnerships,
okay?
but I don't know,
Yeah.
with other,
Organizations and businesses.
Yeah.
Organization, businesses, and,
organizations and businesses.
Do you wanna not say other, or do you wanna leave other?
organizations, business, and businesses, in and out of Norwood.
Beautiful.
Get rid of the column.
It's a shout, he's very proud of you.
Got any better way to say in and out of Norwood?
Cuddles.
In- In Norwood and surrounding communities. In Norwood and surrounding community.
In the Norwood area.
I like the and just like it is there, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
In the Norwood
Alright.
area.
Okay.
So do we think we've hit everything with the triple E?
I
And
think
we,
it ties back to the beginning, but we don't have to
Yeah.
do it if you don't want.
yeah, no, that's fine, it's good. So we think we've hit all the other bullets, so,
So we can get rid of the other ones.
yep, so we'll put those down into
I mean,
the-
that's simple, and then we can add all the time.
Cool,
You just get rid of the town manager.
sorry. So, in our role assisting town officials, the Norwood Trails Advisory Committee is committed to educating, exploring, and encouraging the use of existing and the development of future trail networks in Norwood and the surrounding area.
Beautiful.
That's good.
Educating the community on available trail locations, small t,
Yeah,
trail
small.
locations and conditions, exploring partnerships with organizations and businesses in the Norwood area, encouraging different groups and individuals to enjoy the natural beauty of Norwood. How's that?
we have to put the word trails in here?
Where?
Well,
Right where she did.
Because existing
right,
was kinda like existing,
It's kind of understood that you're talking about trails.
yeah, but read the sentence again, without the trails, it's kind of like.
Use of existing.
Well,
and
Exploring, encouraging
it
the
does
use,
work.
the use
Trails.
of existing and the development of future trail networks. Yeah, you have trail in there twice, you don't need to have it. It's the use of and the development of
Future trail
future
network,
trail.
yeah.
yeah, it works.
It
Shouldn't it
was,
be like
it
in
is.
developing instead of
I think
development?
we should have trails.
I think it changes context.
I think,
Oh, it's,
I
no,
don't
it's
think
under
it
use.
is, so I think that,
So
It's use and development.
use and development of the networks, existing trails and development of networks. But I would propose leave this as it is for a review time.
Yep,
Yep.
sure.
Distribute
to
it
it.
to the people, other people that are not here, and also to Paul Halkiotis and Tony.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
And.
have,
But it's a
and
great
have some
start.
feedback,
Yeah.
and then, you know,
Yep, good
vote
idea.
on what would make a reasonable, you know, time frame. 2 meetings or the next meeting? What-
I think you wanna have this buttoned down by
By that meeting.
the sustainability thing.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's say, we are scheduled, that's another one of the agenda items, but
Yeah,
we are scheduled to meet on the 12th of February. That's our next scheduled meeting, and then the 13th is the sustainability
Yeah.
series.
Right.
So, I guess so yeah, let's
get
sleep
feedback
on it.
in 2
Yep.
weeks,
Yep, okay,
and we can put it right into the,
okay, cool,
or we can
Yeah.
approve it to be used the next day,
okay, great.
at the next meeting.
And we can always change it if we wanna
Yeah.
tweak it in some.
But I think we did a great,
Yeah.
great job.
Excellent job. Poof, it's a mission statement.
So is this sort of like the beginning of our bylaws?
Yes. Oh, that's a different meeting.
Oh,
All right, great, so we'll distribute that, thank you all. What else we got here? Future group trail walks, so this is FYI only. We did take a walk, a couple of us took a walk on Meadow Street.
Come on in.
Morning, Bernie.
Over. Yes, we
Yep.
do, thank you.
We do.
So we did take a walk on the Meadow Street property over the weekend. It's definitely it's definitely under the heading of future, to put it mildly, so it's always an interesting, the other good thing is it's always interesting to visit these sites in different times of the year. We went to Meadow Street maybe in the spring,
Yeah.
Greg? Late
Spring.
Yeah,
yeah, it's about right.
Yeah.
May,
it was like end of
May or June.
March or
Yeah.
something like that.
It had definitely
Later than
leafed
that.
out.
Yeah, later
Or
than
maybe
that.
end of April.
It was after Earth Day, cause that's when I joined.
that was Meadow Street, that's
Yeah.
June.
So it was probably
It was
June,
June,
yeah,
And we basically couldn't go 30 feet into the trail.
right.
It wasn't a lot better this past weekend, but at
No
least-
leaves,
No leaves, that's right. Lots of black and blues and
nice.
bushwhacking. Maybe, and this is an FYI, and it's always subject to debate and change, but the next maybe logical place for us to try to go and check out is the Westwood Germany Brook and the Norwood landfill in Germany Brook. So that's kind of an abutting property, but it's might give us a good indication of what else is possible.
Is that the one that you wanna start at, the Willet?
Yeah, sure, we can start.
Because we did that once before,
Yeah,
yeah.
we could start at the Willett and work our way into Westwood and back up to the landfill. Let's see,
And you wouldn't have to cross the river there.
you would not
No.
have to cross the river, which is a good thing, because
Yeah,
even in the wintertime, that river is moving.
yeah,
So
I went by there Saturday and it was flowing very well.
So up and right, I think. So that's,
Down.
is that Ellis Pond? I can't see that far.
No,
Right in the middle.
in the middle
The
is
dot.
Buckmaster.
What is it?
Where the
That was
dot is.
Buckmaster up
Where the
there,
red dot is, basically.
Yeah, right where the red dot is.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
Okay.
well, it's there, the Will Early Education Center.
Yeah,
So just to the right, that kind of football field looking brown spot, that's the landfill.
Yeah,
And then basically after, everything to the left of that, and if you cross up and to the right is Winter Street. So even across Winter Street, that adjoining, it's almost like a bow tie or a dog bone kind of looking shape.
that's
So
the LaSalle Road Conservation
LaSalle.
Land.
Yeah, so that, both sides of Winter Street are combined Westwood and Norwood. So by Germany Brook runs to the left, I guess that would be northwest of the landfill. But then it crosses under Winter Street and it goes all the way towards, Father Max. And
Mm-hmm.
actually, I think it might flow the other way, but yeah.
Yeah.
It flows
Skating
from
pond.
Father Max the other way.
Goes that way.
Yep,
So
actually.
so what is it
splits.
actually called then? Because Germany Brook comes from the top.
From Westwood.
Yeah, so I don't think that's actually, is it, it does say Germany Brook, but how can a brook have two different tributaries?
East
That
Fork,
almost
North
looks
Fork.
man-made, it's so straight.
Yeah, cause it's pretty, flows very well going up toward Westwood straight up. It had a very good flow when I was
Is
there.
that a pond there?
Where?
Yes.
Right there where it says
Germany
green,
Brook
says
level?
Germany Brook level?
No.
Can you get at it, or is it, you have to hike into it?
You
No,
got
it's
it.
like not a pond.
Kinda wet.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
just
wetland, it's
wetland.
wetland.
And you know, I was surprised as you go to Germany Brook further down south where it's between the houses. That
Behind-
actually gets pretty
Yeah.
wide.
Behind Jerry?
Yeah, the Westover Park there.
Mm.
I mean, that could certainly have a trail there and you could connect it to the other one.
Mhm.
Goes behind Layton Road.
Yeah, it was a very nice trail.
So this is, and this might,
And then you can connect to Ellis Pond.
Right.
right,
So that's the future, but I was very impressed as how wide the Westover Park became.
yeah, yeah. So Westwood, one other thing that we might consider down the road, and Craig you've already taken a crack at this with Shattuck Park, but Westwood put out the Conservation Commission, this is, Westwood open space lands offer peace, solace, and communion with nature. But they put out a newsletter, the Conservation Commission, about 15 years ago, actually. And it's May of 2002. And the name of the newsletter is Take a Hike. And the Westwood Conservation Agent sent this over to me. But the description of their Germany Brook property, it's Germany Brook Arcadia Road. Arcadia Road is the way to access it from up near Buckmaster and Pond Street.
Yeah,
Says with the recent addition of 28 acres in 2000, this now 40-acre conservation site, primarily consisting of wetlands, serves an important function as a drainage area for the surrounding neighborhoods. Hiking trails are not delineated on the lands, so boots would be recommended when visiting this site. Access is located at the end of Acadia Road off Pond Street. So they're basically saying it's open space. It's open space managed by the Conservation Commission. The conservation agent said that they would definitely be interested. There are some trails there, but they're not trails per se, they're more like water easements and
Mm.
sewer easements and, that type of thing, but you could definitely string a couple of things together. That was when I put it on this list of potential futures because it's a good example of joining forces with another surrounding town.
how is the LaSalle conservation land? Is that drier? It probably is.
Some of it is.
I
That one
haven't
is
been in
actually-
there.
That one is actually not outlined in their document. But yeah, we could pick either one of those.
And there's Norwest Woods, and then, go up Norwest Woods, you cross Manhattan Street, and bingo, there we are in the apartments and all that, and all that green land in there.
You can say Forbes, go ahead.
And Forbes. Didn't wanna say that.
Yeah, so that, we don't have to do that next, but it's.
No, but that's a long connection, actually.
Yeah.
That's a long hike.
So just getting back to the agenda there, so whether we identify that one as, a potential next, or if we pick someplace else, again, we have to keep in mind the seasons and, if we're out on a trail in the next 2 weeks, it's definitely either cross-country skis or snowshoes or something. Toboggan, any non-motorized method.
Well, we're gonna get a meltdown again for the next 2
Yeah, that's
days.
right. It's supposed to hit 50 degrees this week. So that's future trail walks, and we'll just put that under advisement as far as which to do next and when. Open space survey, we touched on. Item 8, announcements, reminders, upcoming events, that Appalachian Mountain Club Summit. I still think, we won't do it this year, but I still think if they continue to have it in Norwood, I think we could definitely either contribute to or take advantage somehow of that taking place in our backyard.
Is anybody going to that?
I am.
Yeah.
And I am, and,
I gotta work.
yep, so
No, we didn't do that.
we will, we will be there, and we will bring back reports of the day. Sustainability series, we talked about that, thank you, Sue, John, and Vic. Earth Day, John had put this on the calendar, April 28th, 2019, and they're actually, the Progress Norwood and Together Yes groups are already soliciting input and participation from the community, so they will basically pick up where they left off last year, and they'll have booths and, a plan for the day. Spring community walk, or work party, I'm sorry, yep. Lee?
Going back to Earth Day, I was just looking at a calendar, that's basically 4 meetings away, or, if we do
Yeah.
two a month.
Okay.
So we might wanna put that up on the,
The hot list.
other items for future meetings
Yeah.
list.
So maybe we take out, as soon as the successful completion of the sustainability series is done.
Then we start working on Earth Day.
Yeah, perfect.
Great.
Spring community work party to be determined, but that's definitely something we wanna try to take advantage of in the spring. Try to get people like Ernie, I think to your point of getting the neighborhood trail, participation and contributions going. I think that would be a great segue into like an adopt a trail program, to try to pick a trail, whether it's Hennessy or Shattuck or Endine or, some of these other areas, and try to get.
We have 2 Boy Scout troops in town, and
Yeah,
try to get them into it, and
Some of the church groups and other community involved groups will definitely wanna, we've already gotten some input and invitations from some of those groups. The Cleveland School Walk, we haven't put that on the calendar yet, but theoretically, we talked the end of April, the beginning of May. And that's something that I was contacted by Marie Duffy Kidd and Nancy Capola, who's the principal of the Cleveland, is very interested in that. That would be we talked about that before, but it's a great way to have a living, breathing partnership with the in that case, the Cleveland School. But I think that would be a great way to roll out a program with all the elementary schools, especially. I don't know if we think of anything else that we want to put on the calendar for upcoming events.
We had talked about inviting the chairman from the Walpole Trails Committee, where's that?
Yeah, that's up there still.
Is that still up there
Yeah.
on the parking list?
Invitation to Walpole Trail Committee to
Oh,
attend
nice.
a vision meeting.
So I think we talked about doing that at the end of February maybe, or sometime in February. We could do that on the 12th. We could do that on the 26th of February. So that might be a perfect, we definitely said we wanted to try to do that during the winter. That would help us kick off the spring and
Yeah.
be in good shape to, launch some new ideas and community involvement in the springtime, so.
Well, upcoming event, Norwood Day should be on there anyway, even
Yeah.
though it's far enough away, but.
So maybe, on number 9 there, the Walpole Trails Committee will try to get that set up for the 12th or the 26th.
Okay.
will we be attending their meeting or they're attending
We'd
ours?
invite them here.
Okay.
Anybody, and also tonight we said that on the 12th, 12th of February, we'll come back with the mission statement. So we'll put that on the calendar for the next meeting, on the agenda for that next meeting as well.
Mhm.
Anybody have any other hot topics or suggestions for future meetings?
Are we gonna try to do a newsletter like every month, or are we gonna like every other month, or what's our goal for the newsletter? Maybe we can talk about that.
Yeah, frequency of touches and, yeah, good, very good. So if we can put that on there to try to come up with, I know we've got the bones, as Ernie says, we've got some bones here. We've got the bones of the future calendar. So one of the calendar items would be the newsletter and how much community outreach and how frequency and what the nature of our outreach will be. So that's a perfect planning, that's a great winter planning agenda item. So let's put that under the calendar for item 9. Anybody else have any pet projects or anything you wanna focus on going forward?
Sue, on that sustainability, the header page or whatever, this thing here, if you could either send that to me or I'm getting closer, I'll put it on Norwood Now and put the date and the time. And I mean, for whatever it's worth, you got like a couple thousand people are on that Facebook site. So, it's not all negative. Maybe somebody will be interested and come.
Yeah,
Can we also do a blast email just on that topic?
Oh, yeah, maybe a little bit before.
yeah, February 5th or
Yeah.
the week before.
Yeah, to the chosen 200,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah.
The other thing while we're talking about this, but in that dreaded Norwood Now Facebook page, they have a spot where you can save files to that group, so anybody in the group can access those files. And among other things, I've stored the townwide map there, and then Sue's community walk map, so those two maps are in that Norwood Now folder. So likewise, when this PowerPoint is put together, when it's ready for publishing, basically we could also store it. Ernie, if you put a link on Norwood Now, if you put a notice on Norwood Now for that front page, we could also store the PowerPoint in the Norwood Now folder.
I don't know how to put a link on, to be honest with you,
Okay.
but if I was just gonna post a picture and then put a comment,
I just have to like do a little bit, cause this doesn't mention the trails at all, like, so I'm gonna maybe have to combine.
well, I would just put
Combine this one with the other one.
and I'd just put a comment, if you're interested in what the Norwood Trails, the newly formed Norwood Trails Committee is gonna make a presentation
Yeah.
at the library. If you wanna learn about, the trails or what we're all about, please come to the library on such and such a date and
Yeah, I'll like join this one with that one.
Yeah,
So,
great.
And we'll have the big map for that night
Yeah.
also, right?
Yep. The
Great.
one
That we use at Norwood Day.
this
That
one.
one.
Yeah.
Who has it now?
What?
I think it's downstairs under this room.
Oh,
I have
okay.
a-
Or
I
do
have
you
a
have
No,
one?
I-
Do you have a good one?
I have the rolled up, you gave it to me. I have the rolled up version.
I can just reprint it.
Okay.
Wasn't
Any-
it on the board downstairs in this room?
I think that's the old map,
Yeah, that's the
the
old one.
predecessor to that.
To this, not colored?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else for future agendas?
See, the minute thing worked, 20 past 8. We
Medium.
never got out before 9.
In the medium, like late February, early March, I might wanna do a presentation on, I'm part of iNaturalist, and I've been through our surveys, I've built up some of the pictures for natural that this site identifies plant and animals. So, there's also in April a challenge, basically a biodiversity challenge. that iNatural sponsors, and so
Okay.
put
Sure.
that together and just this is sort of a way of creating a plant and animal list that's geared toward Norwood.
Okay.
And,
When do you wanna do that?
Late February, early March.
Okay.
and you're involved in the water quality survey, right?
NEPRA's, they call it swimming. Yep.
Is that a meeting tomorrow night, is it? Or Thursday night? To go over the results of it?
Oh, yeah, I saw
Is
that.
that
Talking about
is
the
that
one
already in
in
January?
Canton?
Wow.
Yeah, the one in Canton, yeah.
I thought it was in February. I'm gonna
I
have to
thought
check.
it was,
It could be, I thought it was
I saw
coming
that
right up.
I saw that notice too. It's in
Yeah.
Canton, but.
Yep.
But
Canton Public
will you
Library.
inform us on that? Because
I
that,
can.
yeah,
I can do a talk
Yeah.
on that too. Sure.
yeah,
Okay.
be interested.
I don't know if you saw that notice, somebody posted it actually today, but the
Susan did.
Trap Hole Brook.
Oh, no, I didn't see that one, no.
So yeah, Susan posted that one about the water quality
Right.
presentation in Canton.
Yes,
But then there was also news that just came out this week about some remediation grant that came out of, that's relative to Trap Hole Brook
For Mill Pond?
for Millpet, is that in
Mill
Walpole?
Pond? No, that's in Norwood,
Okay,
but it's on Trap Hole Brook.
okay. It didn't
Right.
specifically mention Mill Pond, but there was a company in Walpole,
Is that on Facebook?
I think so. There's a
Are you
company, there's a company in Walpole that was polluting the Neponset. And out of the remediation work, the company ended up having to fund this grant going back to Sharon, Walpole, and Norwood for the trap, specifically for the Trap Hole Brook.
Is this related to the old Norwood Arena, the car?
No,
No.
I
Hmm.
forget who posts.
Where did you see it, Joe?
It was just on Go Now today.
Oh.
A lot of companies used to pollute the Neponset River way back when.
Yeah.
I know there's some,
Is it behind-
there's
Oh, it's
there's a
doing their
project
shingles
that
today.
does it.
Oh,
But
it's
anyway,
great,
that,
they're doing
that,
shingles
sorry to,
today.
Yeah.
sorry to
Take a
distract,
sip.
but that might,
Holliston
Yeah.
Mills.
that might be a
Yeah.
good water,
Yes, of
new,
course. They were
Neponset
all
watershed.
Oh, they're probably on it.
Discussion.
Yeah.
When I was a kid,
Okay.
Neponset River, you wouldn't
All
dare
right,
go
good.
in there.
No.
So that's a March, maybe a March event?
Yeah.
Brown.
Great, so it sounds like we got some continuing ed, let's call it, one of the E's, educate. So,
And
yeah,
learn.
that one right there,
That?
Yep.
Oh, Susan Clary.
okay.
I can see that.
So $1 million settlement, and they've
Okay.
identified specific restoration projects in Sharon, Walpole, and Norwood. And it's all to benefit the Trap Hole
Oh, there it is.
surrounding area.
Oh, Memorial Pond, I remember that.
Was that brake company in Walpole that did that?
It was Union, something in Union Company, I think it's in the first paragraph or first page.
Blackburn.
Black.
Yeah, I don't know that one. Huh.
I think that was the brake company in Walpole. And they had asbestos and all that. Terrible site.
Is that in back of Home Depot?
No,
No?
further on, up off Common Street.
So those are the kind of, these are the kind of things that they don't directly impact trails, but they certainly impact, the watershed and under the heading of good neighbors and that sort of thing, we could certainly, once we get rolling, we could certainly add these kind of links to our own outreach.
Because what we do should be get other things by getting more people involved, and then we get involved in more things. And an example was when we did the recycling committee became the Together Yes, and then I became on this, and all these committees. And as we get interested in more things, it really does blossom into a lot of volunteering and a lot of good committees.
All right, without further ado, if nobody has anything else, so we're going to, down the bottom here, so we've got a couple of things in the parking lot, so we will revisit those. Actually, I think we did revisit one of those, the email list usage. Right, so we've already successfully embarked on that. The next meeting scheduled, so I put, under the Jerry, you know, with all respect to his question was a good one, why do we meet so frequently? We do have a scheduled meeting for February 12th as a committee, but then the 13th, the next night is at the library. So it's certainly optional that we could not meet on the 12th and instead go to support the Sustainability Series group and Vic, John, and Sue. So
I mean,
that's an option.
Yeah, the 12th, I mean, is it really just to finalize the mission statement or that the 12th?
You can send us an email on that.
That's probably the primary goal, which we could always do.
Yeah.
We could always
I mean-
circle back on the 26th and do that.
Yeah, I mean.
Well,
think we
no, I
did
mean, you
pretty
wanna
well.
have it ready for the 13th.
Well,
Yeah, but
even
if you
what
put
we
it on
had
the
was
13th
good.
And you wanna change it.
Yeah, no one's
I
gonna
think
care,
it's-
so we have it, so we, you know.
Yeah, I would
could-
say
we-
the
we could
12th
meet
is
the-
out.
We could just meet the I mean, people that wanna go out, you know, the 13th.
So, do we wanna decide, do you wanna meet or not on the 12th?
No, let's skip it.
Okay,
Let's skip it, yeah.
okay, let's take the week off.
And it's
some-
optional, you don't have to be there on the 13th, but you
Excuse-
better be there.
But, now, did you discuss an after a library event on the 13th?
No, I hadn't.
That's important.
We'll
called-
talk about that.
It's called feedback and debriefing.
Yes, right.
Okay, good.
Will we be offering promotional items at the library?
We should have a flyer to give out, is a good point.
When you say
We have that.
promotional, What are you thinking? Maybe some,
Well, we've had the various
something that
swag,
begins with this,
maybe,
T, a letter
maybe.
T,
Yeah.
t-shirts.
I'm just
T-shirts.
wondering, you know.
Well, we should have
You have some, right?
sign
maybe
up
too many
sheet.
to have,
Do we, you mean like a door prize kind of thing, or a takeaway?
Okay. Oh,
just, yeah.
What,
door,
do we do
just
both?
maybe
wondering.
door prize, maybe both.
Any food? Refreshments?
Do they allow
What's
it?
the library policy on that?
Oh,
They
they
do.
have food there.
Yeah,
Do they?
most of them do have
Okay.
something.
Maybe, the subcommittee that's working on this could propose something informal.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, good question.
I
So we're not meeting on the 12th,
Right.
February 13th at Norwood Memorial Library.
Norwood Memorial Library in the
Six-
Simone Room,
6:30 in the Simone Room.
yeah,
Reserve,
So,
reserve your spot,
yeah.
and our next meeting will be Tuesday, February 26th at 7 PM here in Norwood Town Hall. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
My second.
Move.
Okay, so moved, seconded. Thank you all. Thank you, Norwood Community Media. Thank you, one and all, for joining us tonight. Thank you very much.
20,
Thank you.
when is
Appreciate
that?
the coverage.
28.